Now, the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying process is currently underway. It will decide 31 of the 32 teams that will participate in the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Host Qatar receiving an automatic spot there, of course. Now, tomorrow, Bafana Bafana face Ghana to decide Group G. The winner will progress to the next round of qualifications. Will they make it to the playoffs after tomorrow night? Well, former Bafana Bafana player Marks Maponyane joins us via Zoom to chat a bit about that. But Marks, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. You know, there was this talk about long balls in the qualifier that Bafana had with Zimbabwe. And Hugo Bross actually said he doesn't see his team playing there. We earlier spoke to the chairman of SAFA's technical team, Mr. Buddha Matate, and he made a comment and he said style of play at this point of time doesn't matter. It's the World Cup qualifiers. All we need to do is win. What is your take on that?
Yeah, in fact, he's right, because sometimes when you win, you've got to win ugly, especially when things are getting as tough as it is now. So you don't have to be playing fancy football. Admittedly, the coach post-match on Thursday, he said he's not happy with the commitment and the style on the day. But at some point, which is getting to that, tomorrow will be evident of that fact that sometimes you don't have to be a good-looking team to win games. You've got to just win ugly.
So the bare minimum that Bafana Bafana needs to do is draw. Could this be a dangerous space to be in? You know, could they take it for granted and say, well, we only need a draw to get there?
No, in fact, good players and good coaches would walk into games of this magnitude by saying, we need a win. And obviously, when you think win, your worst can be a draw. But if you say a draw, that's when you are highly likely to lose. So the mentality should be, we need a win away. We've done that before. It is possible. And they'll realize that it's either going to be possible or a draw, which is still landing them where we should be.
So you're saying they must aim high, and if you come in a bit lower, at least you've aimed higher. So what happens, Marks, if they lose? I mean, as South Africans, we're all gearing behind Bafana Bafana. We do want them to win, but what happens if they lose? Common practice, especially in football, is that the coach is the one that gets sacked. If we look at Bross, he seems to be building a team that is very, very hungry. So even if they lose tomorrow, do you think he should stay on the same path that he has in terms of the strategic plan that he's put in place to rejuvenize, if I may, Bafana Bafana, or should he make changes to that?
No, in fact, he should stay on the same path because he has done well. And when I say done well, I'm sure most of the people will say, yeah, but South Africans, when they don't qualify, they will always celebrate that. No, he has done well given the fact that there's a plan. And that plan is the 2023 AFCON. So he should stay with the players. We were talking about that with friends the other time and say the good thing about this team is that most of them are hungry. And he didn't come here and say, who are the teams that are doing well? Who are the stars in those teams? Can I have them? Have they got the Bafana Bafana experience? So he didn't go that path. And he's so far so good. And I would say he should continue with the same path.
I quickly want to sidetrack here, but Marks, earlier in the week marked the 25th anniversary of the 1996 AFCON triumph for South Africa. We were actually supposed to have Mark Williams on air earlier, however he ditched us. But in that match, all 13 members of the AFCON winning squad went on to have successful careers, which is absolutely phenomenal. You don't see that happen as often today in sport. If you think about back to when you were a player, and we look at the football that we see showcased today, what is it that you guys did differently, and where are our players today missing the mark to ensure that we still have full teams who build these great careers going forward?
Well, my answer will sound like a stuck record. I said this last weekend on one interview, and I used the word consistency. If you're consistent and you always be seen to be hungry, then that's when you stand a chance to be spotted. But not only that, remember the Bafana Bafana 96, the fact is that the world was watching, and especially this new kid on the block who was exciting everybody, and the South African style from these, the likes of Shoes Moshoeu, and, you know, you just think, wow, these are the guys who can really do this with the ball. and the world was interested and hungry to have them. And this current players can also be hungry, but what will help them more is qualifying. Because when you qualify, that's when all eyes are on you. So when you start playing all these qualifiers only and don't go any further, nobody really. I was saying nobody would. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I was saying, and when we don't qualify, let's focus on qualifying, because if you don't qualify, that's when the world doesn't see you at all.
100%. Now, but Marks, transformation is a topic that is discussed in quite often cricket right now, and in rugby as well, and in various other sectors, not only in sport. But quite often when we look at transformation, we only think about race. We forget about gender as well. So Mamelodi Sundowns ladies, they've qualified as group winners into the semi-final of the CAF Women's Champions League, which is absolutely phenomenal. What do you think their chances are there?
Well, they have done very well. I mean, everything that Sundowns touches seems to be gold. I mean, in the multi-choice, you see the youngsters are on top of the log, and then comes the PSL, the top of the log, and their ladies now are moving mountains out in the CAF competition. And I think the chances are there for them to just show that South Africans can really play this game, just like Bafana did. Unfortunately, when it came to the World Cup, then it showed that African countries are still lacking. But there is a lot of potential. That is why we now ended up with our ladies now playing all over the world. And it just shows you that Bafana do also have players that can show what South Africans can do.